Associated Press, they've done an analysis of BP's planning for the possibility of a disaster in the Gulf.
No.
Not good, 582-page report that, according to the Associated Press, is riddled with omissions and glaring errors, and pretty much demonstrating how BP officials have been making it up as they go along. It vastly understates the dangers posed by this kind of a spill and vastly overstates the company's preparedness to deal with one. Such things, just a couple of items quickly. Like they list a Professor Peter Lutz in this 2009 response plan that BP came up with.
Sure.
2009 response plan. The professor, God bless him, he died in 2005. Under the heading Sensitive Biological Resources, the plan lists marine mammals, walruses, sea otters, sea lions, and seals. They don't live in the Gulf. The names and phone numbers.
Did they migrate somewhere?
No, they've never been there, They're not indigenous to that particular area.
They didn't visit there?
No, they don't visit. No.
Okay.
Names and phone numbers of Texas A&M.
When did old Pete die again?
He died in 2005, 4 years prior to the writing of the response plan.
Oh, my darn.
University Marine Life Specialists, telephone numbers, they got them wrong in the thing. The numbers for Marine Mammal Stranding Network offices, Louisiana and Florida, are no longer in service. And, you could go on, but the beaches where oil washed up within weeks of the spill were supposed to be safe from contamination because BP promised it could marshal more than enough stuff, to scoop all the stuff up. That didn't happen that way. Said they could skim up or remove 20 million gallons a day. But now we have a leak that covers 3,300 square miles. Things like that. And on, and I can't go. Time does not permit us to go through all of it, but it is
And
stunning.
The president still hasn't talked to the CEO of, what's his name?
Hayward.
Yeah. Tony Hayward?
Tony Hayward, CEO Tony Hayward. Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody in the administration, the president doesn't have to talk to everybody, but has anyone?
Well,
presumably,
we know that, Bernie.
Yeah, the Coast Guard guy, Thad Allen.
He's written him a very specific letter telling Hayward in a letter dated Tuesday that his office and state offices in the stricken area, quote, have made several requests for additional information which we have not received, end quote, but it's a letter.
I support Lewis Black's plan.
Boy, I do too.
We should simply look at this as an attack similar to 9/11.
Yeah.
And we should attack them.
Invade BP.
Exactly.
Seize their assets.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's just the administration's handling of this has been disgraceful. And BP is, and the fact that these lax regulations have been on the books for all these years, and it's a fair point, by the way. You can blame it on your guy, Dick Cheney, and all that bunch of it, and should, all those people from the Bush administration. But the Obama administration's been doing this for a year and a half. Why wouldn't they review all of that stuff? Particularly, why wouldn't they review all of these various regulations? When he just was jumping up and down, he was all hot to trot for this offshore drilling the president was off the coast of Virginia. So why wouldn't they want to impose more strict requirements of these oil companies in view of how lax they were in the last administration? And wouldn't you think that President Obama and the other folks in his administration would know that before they at least went out on a limb screaming about wanting more offshore drilling? Wouldn't you think that, Charles? Answer me. Answer me.
And so far as BP is concerned, as Lewis Black also referenced, you can't even get a number out of them of how much oil is actually escaping. As he said, the scientists forget how to add. Forget
when
numbers.
The comedians of the world make more sense than the people running things, which, by the way, they often do.
Yeah.
You were in trouble.
They reveal great common sense.
14 after the hour. Warner Wolf has sports coming up. Paul